What's up, everybody? Today I'm here to talk about Ahmed, the actor that portrayed Jar Jar Binks, that came forth and talked about having suicide thoughts due to the backlash to his character. Now, when I read these kind of things, it makes me very sad. You know, it's very similar to the whole situation, the Kelly Marie train as well, suffering a backlash. Because again, like I said in that video, I don't think there's any excuse for people to go on these actors' personal accounts and actually attack them. Now, as far as the backlash to the prequels, I wasn't even aware of this backlash because when I was introduced to it, I was in Brazil, okay, and I didn't see any. It was nowhere near the backlash that was here in America. No, in fact, when I came here is where I actually found out about the hate towards the prequels and all this kind of thing. Because, you know, my dad is the one that introduced Star Wars to me, and he loved Jar Jar Binks. You know, we had a lot of fun times watching the character, even though when I go back now and I watch it as an adult, I actually see that they went the character is just too much, and I just find the character annoying, but I don't have hate toward the character, and I don't think it destroyed the whole story of the prequels. But it is kind of sad to see that a character affected an actor's personal life like this, okay? Today I will be reading an article. This one is from BBC, and obviously this is going to be a subject that the shield media is going to be using. It's everywhere now again. Some of the titles are very inflammatory, and again, putting the whole fans at toxic and you know, saying how bad the fans can get, generalizing the fandom again. But obviously the media had a lot to blame, okay? And that's why I wanted to read from this specific article, because it talks about the media and the fans as well. So the article is titled, Star Wars Jar Jar Binks actor Ahmed considered suicide. And it starts, the actor who played Jar Jar Binks in the Star Wars franchise has revealed how the vicious backlash against the character left him close to suicide. Ahmed provided a voice and motion capture for the gawky CGI alien in Star Wars prequels beginning in 1999's Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. At the time, he was 25 and it was his first major film role. Now, how sad is that? Because people sometimes, you know, the fans, they could get a little bit overboard, and they still have to remember, you know, that these are actors, you know, and if you land a role on a Star Wars film, no matter how stupid the character is, it's a big role, it's a big job, and people should understand that actors are actors and they do not have control over their characters, okay? Like, if we're talking about really huge celebrities such as like Harrison Ford is an actor that right now he doesn't even need to be acting anymore. He does it because he loves it, and he's the kind of actor that when he's signing a contract, he could put some ideas and say, I don't want this for the character, I don't want that for the character, and then they might hear him if they really want him back. But, you know, young actors that are just starting, even if they land a role like that, I mean, seriously, they have absolutely zero control over whatever is given them. They just have to work with the script that is given to them. It's the same with Daisy Ridley, same with Kelly Marie Tran, you know, John Boyega, and obviously Ahmed as well. Let's continue. Sadly for Best, the reception from the fans and the media was terrible. Jar Jar Binks quickly became the most hated character in the Star Wars universe, and critics branded Best's cartoonish portrayal as dumbed down, exercise in child-pleasing, or worse, a racist stereotype with misplaced Caribbean accent. I actually, even when today I go back and I watch that, I didn't see anything racist about the character. You know, to me, this is that's a character that is inside a suit, is a CGI character, you know, and I don't know, again, I wasn't even aware of this kind of backlash, but I like this article because they're saying that, you know, the critics are the ones that actually were very harsh as well, along with the fans, so both of them are to blame. Best did not name the Star Wars film in his emotional post, but shared a picture with his young son, writing, and this is what the tweet says, 20 years next year, I faced a media backlash that still affects my career today. This was the place I almost ended my life. It's still hard to talk about. I survived, and now this little guy is my gift for survival. Would this be a good story for my solo show? Let me know. Now, obviously, this is a positive thing because, again, he's talking about surviving this dark time on his life, and now he has his son as a motivation to move on, you know. And even though this is, you know, one of the stories that actually had a happy ending, obviously this is not what the media is going to focus right now. They're going to be, again, bringing the attention back to the fandom and saying how toxic they are. And if you go around and search this subject, you're going to see a lot of articles being very inflammatory and, again, saying terrible things about the fans. Now, obviously, I cannot dismiss that people can really be overboard, you know, and this is what is really terrible. Like, and that's where the ugliness of humanity also shows. It's on the internet, okay? Because the internet is that safe place where people just they hide themselves behind avatar and they could say whatever they want. Now, I've said this a couple of times. I'm all up for criticism because criticism is an important way of creating change, okay? If you don't criticize something, you're not going to get something better. But one thing is criticism, okay? And another thing is actually going overboard and giving actors death threats and talking about their families and just personally attacking them. And this has nothing to do even with the role that they played, and just that's not even the right way to go about it, okay? I criticize Rian Johnson's choices for The Last Jedi all the time, but that doesn't give me the right to go there and attack his family or things like that, you know? The same thing with Kelly Marie Tran, and obviously the same thing with Ahmed. And I truly do not believe that the majority of the fans took time out of their busy lives to go there and personally attack the actor. But let's see what else the actor is saying. The message provoked an outpouring of support from the fans and fellow Star Wars alumni, including director Rian Johnson, whose work includes Star Wars The Last Jedi. Rian Johnson said, "Lots of love to you, Ahmed," Johnson tweeted. "I think there are many of us who'd quite get a lot from hearing your story." And obviously because he's facing a lot of backlash. Rian Johnson is at Twitter also tweeting back at people, calling people names as well. So he's really not innocent on any of this. So actor Frank Ross, a puppeteer who voiced the Jedi Master Yoda, The Empire Strikes Back, and The Return of the Jedi, declared that he loved Jar Jar Binks, adding, I would just never understand the harshness of people's dislike of him. I do character work. He's a great character. And, you know, I like the character too. You know, I don't hate him. I thought he was annoying, but, you know, he had some funny parts. Let's continue. Best replied with gratitude, telling us, "Thanks, Frank Oz Jam. You've always been kind, generous, and supportive. Love you, my friend." And then there's also, after that, many Star Wars fans weighed in to share appreciation for the bumbly orange Jar Jar, who in the story is a Gangan general from the planet Naboo. And then there's a lot of nice tweets over here of people actually supporting him. And obviously, again, I also find that it's sad that sometimes people, people that really hate the character, and again, people need to understand that one thing is you criticizing the work, and there's a limit for everything, but going and attacking people, personal life, to the level that is saying like death threats. Like Jake Lloyd also suffered bullying, you know, it's terrible for a boy, a 10-year-old boy, and he also ended up having mental illness as well, which is all these kinds of things is really sad. You know, Hayden had a backlash as well. It makes me sad because I really don't think people should know the difference, that actors are not the ones to blame. How many times I should say that? People should not go there and waste their time to yell at these actors. You know, this is just a job. And the other thing that I also think that is not really fair is that it's very easy for people to be on the internet and be judgmental, okay? Because we don't know people's life or what's going on. And if, you know, we all look at these celebrities and we think they all have perfect lives, you know, they have so much money and they're like fame and things like that. But if fame and money brought so much happiness and really cured depression, we wouldn't have so many celebrities committing suicide or dying of drug overdose. So it's really not fair for people to just judge and just think that because they have so much money, they're still humans, you know, and they still go through dark times. And I think that, you know, right now what the fans should do is go there and be supportive. You know, it's great that he survived this backlash. You know, it's great that he was able to overcome this dark time, because I think depression and all these things, they're not a joke, and they're not supposed to be taken as a joke. It's very, very sad, and I feel like someone that is going to this dark time, they should ask for help. But I really like that his post is actually a positive one, that now, you know, he has his son to look up to for a better future, you know, and forget about this effect that the character had on his career. Let's see what else the artists say. Some observed that the level of private suffering Best endured, even though he was not recognizable as the face of the character, shows it's important to remember that actors are just ordinary people doing a job. This is exactly what I just said, right? When people make things you don't like, they're not trying to hurt you. Screenwriter Brian Edward Hill tweeted. And that is so true. You know, when actors take on the roles, their goals is not to go there and hurt you. This is a job, you know. Best has touched on the startling toll Jar Jar took on him previously, telling Wired, he even got death threats. I had people come to me and say, you destroyed my childhood. He said, that's difficult for a 25-year-old to hear. The Star Wars creator George Lucas has long defended Best's opinion-splitting character, whom he said was based on the Disney cartoon Goofy, speaking to BBC in 1999. He firmly rejected suggestions of any racial stereotype. And I'm with George, you know. I watch those films and I don't see that. Obviously, the media, again, likes to make it even uglier. Just like right now, this is going to be a topic, again, to blame the entire fandom. No, I don't believe that the entire fandom are the one to blame. A lot of people there's a lot of characters that I dislike, but I'm not wasting my time to go on these actors' personal account and attack them and say, I hate you, I wish you die, or something like that. These are things that, you know, people that are actually doing that, they might have some sort of problem themselves, because this is not something that anyone should be doing. Nobody deserves this kind of treatment. So, and when I was doing the research to talk about this subject, I found a very interesting article that was published in 2017 on Wired, and I will put the link below. I won't be reading that because it's a very long article, but it's a very extensive interview where he's talking about the process of when he was cast and how much fun he had while he was, you know, doing the role, you know, during production. And it was very unfortunately to find out about the backlash, and I will put it below. And he's also talking about the media. The media was also very harsh. So it's not only the fans, it's the media and the fans that were harsh. But anyways, guys, I'm getting to the end of my video. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your opinion on this subject. I believe that we, the fandom, should be a force for good. You know, we should go on his Twitter and give him a support message. And that said, you know, we shouldn't take any kind of depression or these kind of things as a joke, because this is very serious, you know. I think it's very sad that people forget that these are real actors, you know. And again, that doesn't mean that you don't have the right to, you know, criticize movies and things that you don't like, because again, the criticism is the only thing that could create change. But however, everything should have a limit, okay? I believe that people should not waste their time to go attack the actor's personal life. But that's it for today. Let's be all a force for good, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.